Thanks, Todd, and welcome back to our North Lake Tahoe satellite studio. We've got one of our neighbors just a few doors down in the studio here, and that's the Sierra Ski Museum. David Antonucci, thank you very much for coming in this morning. And you guys have been open a few years, and it's been very well received. I see a lot of people peeking in there when we're here. So, first of all, congratulations. Some very cool artifacts in there. For someone that doesn't know or hasn't checked it out, give them the overview of what they can expect at the Sierra Ski Museum.
Well, what you'll find is two things, basically. A history overview of skiing in the Sierra, which began in the Gold Rush years. And then the other half of the museum is dedicated to presenting the history of the 1960 Winter Games that was held at Squaw Valley and on the west shore of Lake Tahoe.
And we've got some artifacts from that we'll get into in just a little bit, but you told me some cool stories as we were setting up here about how it all started here in the Sierras skiing. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. It was something that miners did in the wintertime. A lot of the miners were from Europe and where they were familiar with getting around on skis. And in the wintertime, to entertain themselves, they would have downhill ski races, and they would race on what are called longboards, which are as much as 18 feet long skis with their boots, in their cowboy boots, kind of strapped down, and it was almost like a drag race on snow. And they would race each other for money to see who could go the fastest and win the race. And that was the start of skiing in the Sierras.
That sounds really cool. I'd love to be in that era right now. But let's talk about the artifacts you've got in there from the Olympics. And maybe, do you have any longboards in there?
Yes, we do have longboards. Okay. Craig Beck, who is a hobbyist in that area and also manufactures longboards, has brought some artifacts in, and they're on display, and you can see these longboard skis that are there. Also, we have some artifacts on the history of ski construction and ski boots that is presented by the Auburn Ski Club. And then we have a real nice collection of memorabilia from the early years of Squaw Valley ski area and Alpine Meadows ski area and Sugar Bowl.
I bet that's really interesting to see those. And let's talk about the ones you brought in here from the Squaw Valley Olympics. You brought in bibs, jackets, some fun stuff.
Yeah, this is a competitor's bib that would have been worn by a cross-country skier or a downhill skier, and it was the way they were identified. This was an extra one that was not used, and so we acquired it for the museum. If you were a competitor out on a ski course, you would see people dressed in these blue jackets, and these would be officials that were keeping eye on things to make sure everybody followed the rules or to help a competitor if they got into trouble. And then if you were a competitor that didn't get a gold, silver, or bronze medal, but you still competed, then you would have gotten this, which is a participation medal. And it's very similar to the medals that were awarded to the top three winners. It's made of bronze, and everybody was given one of these to show that they actually participated in the 1960
So
Olympics.
even the participators still get a bronze medal, technically.
Yes.
You've even got a silver medal from Mr. Darren Rawls.
Yeah, this is a silver-colored participation medal from the Vancouver Winter Games, in which Darren competed, and he was kind enough to donate this to the museum together with some of his Vancouver memorabilia, including his team jacket, a small athletic bag, and his racing helmet and goggles. So we have that. In addition, we've also acquired, as a very generous donation from Julia Mancuso, the racing suit she wore when she won the bronze medal in the combined at Sochi.
Very cool. And so folks can check all of this out as part of the Heritage Trail coming up, where they're opening up all of the museums. Talk about that briefly.
Yeah, all the museums in Placer County will be opened the following weekend, about 10 days from now. It'll be free admission Saturday and Sunday. We're part of the Heritage Trail, and our museum is open from 11 to 6 daily. It's free admission. You'll be able to not only see ski history at our museum, but if you go to the Watson Cabin here in Tahoe City, you'll experience living history, as they call it, or at the Gatekeeper Museum, you'll see an extensive collection of Native American baskets, plus a lot of Lake Tahoe historical artifacts.
David Antonucci, thank you very much, the co-founder of the Sierra Ski History Museum, just a couple doors down from our satellite studio here in the Boatworks Mall. We've got to wrap it up, though. Thanks again for coming in this morning.
Pleasure.
We're sending it back to you guys in the South Lake Tahoe studio.